Hello and welcome to another video from EarnPED.com. I'm StevieB, happy to have you all with us today. As you can see, the game is doing some kind of a weird glitch. I moved a while ago and now I've got all these giant things coming out of me like my pixels are all over the place. Kind of cool, it just kind of sticks with me wherever I go, so if I run around, it just goes where I go. So today I am at Tanzanite View here on Next Island. This is going to be the first of 5 videos for the 2022 Community Recognition Program here on Next Island. So this will be for the June submissions. However, it will be submitted in May sometime for June. So I'm at a construction machine. So this doesn't have anything to do with a mission. It doesn't have anything to do with a mission chain or a mission reward. But we're going to do some crafting, and I'm actually going to be making Bruchite stone texture blueprints today. Notice that I've got almost 3,000 Bruchite on me and 2,372 basic stone extractors. Now, if we look, there actually is some markup and some demand for this stone texture. So that's a good thing, because anytime we can do something where there's the potential to profit from it, there's the potential to actually sell what we're making at a good markup, even if we have to do it a little bit slower, even if the demand isn't absolutely huge, that's a good thing. Now, a run this big, very possibly, could end up being more demand than we would see on the entire auction for the entire game for maybe even the entire year. I don't know yet. So we will have to see as we go. But we're going to get started. So I'm just going to put it all the way on quantity, obviously, and we're going to go through maximum attempts, no residue needed, and this is a QR100 blueprint. So, oh, I'm sorry, it's QR77, so it'll keep going up as we go, but with QR77, we've already got the vast majority of the use out of it that we're going to get from QR, so we're at 93.1. That other 23 QR would only get us another 1.9% success rate. So we're going to go ahead and start skilling here. So why are we doing this? Why would I do something without a mission chain, without a mission reward? Good question, especially on something like this, something where it's not something I'm going to be using right away. It's not something where I'm probably going to be able to sell it right away. As you can see, very, very, very low TT value, even for successes. So why would I do this? Well, there's something interesting about crafting on Next Island. This is probably one of the better kept secrets in game. It's also something that is unique about apparently crafting stone textures. Now, there's different types of stone textures. You need the blueprint for that specific stone texture, you need the stone for that specific texture, and then you need stone extractors. So obviously, Bruchite stone texture, Bruchite stone is what we need, right? Now, what is unique is on Next Island, you can loot blueprints just like you can anywhere else. So since this is a level 1 blueprint, I can loot level 1, 2, and 3 blueprints while I'm crafting, while I'm spinning. And occasionally you will. I just did the daily challenge here for the 50 successful crafts of Lesser Elysian. And while I was crafting, I looted a Renoa Bikini Female Colorable Blueprint, Unlimited. And I got a Short Tide Insignia Curtain Colorable Blueprint, Limited. This one will probably go in the trade terminal. That's just TT fodder right there. But obviously, this one's level 1, this one's level 3, so we can loot blueprints as we craft. We know this. What's unique is on Next Island, when you're crafting, when you are using specifically stone texture blueprints apparently, and it might work with other blueprints as well, you can loot what is called, and I know I'm going to say this wrong, the Kylon's Blue Blueprint. Kylon apostrophe S, Blue Blueprint. It's a level 2 blueprint, which means you can loot it from a level 1. If you get this, it is a limited blueprint, so it will run out of clicks. But if you get this blueprint, it allows you to make... Did we get it? No, we did not. It allows you to make Kylon's Blue paint. It's an actual paint can. It is a blue paint can. It's kind of like a dark blue. And with that blueprint, what you will do is you'll need 2 Lesser Elysia, 4 refined Udalite crystal, and 200 Elysian tech chips. But then you use those to craft, and the end result is Kylon's Blue. It's a paint can. The TT value of the paint can is 0.06 PED. The profession that it requires is not color, it's tailor. and recommended level is level 2.5. So here's what's interesting about this. Coloring is very, very difficult in this game because the skills are just exceedingly expensive to try and get. You're losing 10% of the TT value every time you color an object. So to skill up coloring is extremely expensive. I've spent thousands and thousands, probably, honestly at this point, I'm probably close to 20 to 30,000 PED that I've cycled for coloring. And I'm still only like level 17, 18, something like that, I think. I'd have to check. In fact, I might be chipping out some of my coloring skills in the very near future because it's just incredibly expensive to skill. But what's interesting is this blueprint, if you can get it, and if you can then manufacture the Kylon's blue, it doesn't use coloring as the profession. It seems to use tailor as the profession. And obviously, we're raising our tailoring professions by doing the Lesser Elysian 50 successful clicks every day here at Tanzanite View. So we're raising our tailoring through the roof, and then with this blueprint, we're able to make a paint can that uses the tailorer profession instead of the colorer profession for your success rate. Very handy. Now, there are also other Kylon's blueprints that I've been made aware of. I believe there's a Kylon's purple. Let me check real quick. Let me double check with the wiki. I'm sorry, I believe it's Miranda Violet. And I believe there's an olive also. One sec. Yeah, Miranda Violet. I'm sorry, it's not purple, it's Miranda Violet. Which acts similarly to Kylon Blue. Level 2.5, and I believe that one works off Tailor also. Also found here on Next Island, also via a blueprint, also via exactly what we're doing here, just crafting to try and get it. So, as far as I'm aware, those are the only two. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, those are the only two. So, Miranda Violet and Kylon Blue are the two prints that we're going for. I don't know if we're going to get them. We might not. But here's something else that is very interesting about crafting. You can get boosted blueprints anytime you're crafting. So if I'm crafting GyroFap 2s, it's a tool blueprint, I have a chance to get boosted blueprints for tools. There's a lot of mining finders that have boosted blueprints. There's a lot of healing tools that have boosted blueprints. And I can also get recycle gizmos blueprints. The recycles are not boosted. If it's boosted, when you hold your mouse over it, the name Short Tight Insignia Curtain would be in an orange color. I'll show you guys one before I finish the video off, because I've got one in storage that I looted here the other day. Boosted blueprints are a little bit different. They naturally have a different rate of return. With a boosted blueprint, a near success is going to give you back pretty dang close to, if not, the full TT value of the inputs that you were trying to use. Usually a near success is going to give you less than the TT value of what you're trying to use. A success on a boosted blueprint is almost always going to give you more than the TT value of the inputs to a pretty good degree. Now what's interesting is you can get boosted blueprints when you're using tools. There tends to be a lot of boosted blueprints whenever you're farming blueprints from tools, which is why I like to use GyroFap 2. That's also why I will use my Life Scanner 1 blueprint quite a bit. It's very high QR, even though it's not quite 100 yet. You can get them from armor, although it's pretty rare. Whenever you're doing armor blueprints, I can't even think of a boosted armor blueprint off the top of my head. Weapons, they do exist as boosted blueprints. They're just harder to get, and the ones that you do get usually requires materials that are pretty hard to source. But they do exist. In fact, I've got a boosted weapon blueprint that is not super hard to get your hands on, but getting the inputs is almost impossible as they're no longer part of the loot pool. I showcased that in another video I did a while back. The blueprint and the inputs is still for sale at this time. Nobody's taken me up on it yet. I might just go ahead and keep on keeping it, because those inputs are just going to get rarer and rarer the longer the game goes on. In fact, those are some of the same inputs that are needed for making robot beacons, and even the people that I know that had the biggest stocks of those particular inputs, they're starting to run literally out, like completely out. So at some point, I will have the last of those inputs, most likely. But what is interesting is when you're crafting anything tailoring related, like mankinis or short-tied insignia curtains or Riona bikinis, or anytime you're doing material textures, what I've noticed is you tend to get a crap load of boosted blueprints. And usually these boosted blueprints are things that you can actually source the materials for pretty easily, and that you can actually craft pretty easily. One of my favorites is, if you've ever seen the towel blueprint, it just literally makes a towel. The towel blueprint is a boosted blueprint. Now, you're actually a little bit more likely to get a boosted blueprint on your tailoring than you are on your stone textures. That is why you will often see that you get them whenever you're doing the daily for Lesser Elysian. In fact, I'll stop real quick and show you guys what I'm talking about as far as the orange goes. If I pull up storage, so I looted this one the other day, Short Royal Cuda Curtain, Colorable Blueprint Limited, 20 clicks. See how that's in orange, and see how the other ones are not, like the chef's hat isn't. So if they're in orange, they are a boosted blueprint. So Risa Nomad Shirt Blueprint, 3 clicks. 3 clicks on this one. Usually if you get a boosted blueprint, you're only going to get a couple of clicks. It's very rare to get 20 clicks on a blueprint that's boosted. Most of the time, if you get a boosted blueprint, it's going to be 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, 4 clicks, somewhere in that area. Good example is the Animal Brush Blueprint. I've looted several, and I think each time I looted it, it was only 1 click. I got an Advanced Animal Brush Blueprint. It was only 1 click, and usually the markup on those things is absolutely horrendous. I'll also show you how to check to see if it's a boosted blueprint when looking on auction. Another blueprint, but not the one we're looking for. So if I go to auction, I go to Calypso, I go to blueprints, just because I know they've got a large amount of blueprints on auction here. So what I'm going to do is I want limited only, because boosted blueprints are always going to be limited. Going to refresh. And now I'm going to go by highest buyout. So I know that the recycled blueprints are not boosted. What I'm looking for is something with very few clicks with a huge markup. So that's why I sorted by markup first. So example, level 4 Finder Amplifier Limited, Blueprint Limited, only 1 click. And it's got pretty good markup on it. So we're going to hit view. And now I can just hover over the blueprint, and indeed it is boosted. And now if I click, and I click like down here to see the item info, I don't know if it's boosted or not. But if I click on view, and then I actually hover over it, I can see if it's boosted. And that one indeed is. Level 12 Finder Amplifier Limited, Blueprint Limited. Again, huge markup, low clicks, and boosted. Let's see here, where's another one? That one is not. So you just kind of have to go through it. Now you do eventually start to recognize some just from doing it a whole lot. So Tech Gizmo, this is one. It's a recycled blueprint. You can get this one from whenever you're crafting weapons. You would have to use like the Jester D2 blueprint, because this is a level 5. So Jester D1 would not get you this particular blueprint. Let's see here. I want to show you guys some that I just know for a fact are boosted. I believe Quadwing isn't, but I'm not 100% sure. No, Quadwing is not, but only 1 attempt. Let's see. Once you, like I said, once you start going through them and start noticing which ones are, they kind of stick out. And I might be passing over a few that I'm not familiar with here. Let's get past all the recycle crap. Level 2 Finder Amplifier Light Blueprint, I believe is boosted. Yep. The level 6 Finder Amplifier Blueprint is boosted. I made some of those once with a boosted blueprint, did really well on that. Level 10, I'm pretty sure is boosted. No, it is not. Not all the finding amplifiers are boosted, but some of them are. There's a lot of them that are more interesting. That's what I'm wanting to show you guys. A lot of healing tools, a lot of FAPs, a lot of other kind of tools in mining finders. Give me a second, I'll find them. Because they usually have hellaciously good markup. Especially for how many clicks they are. So, like a lot of the Vivo Warp Drive 1 blueprint, is that? Yes, Warp Drive 1 is boosted. Generic Fuse is very, very hard to get your hands on. I believe they have 5 PED TT value, and they've got a pretty ridiculously good markup, which is why Warp Drives are so expensive. A lot of the... I don't think it's this one. Nope. A lot of the Vivo FAPs are boosted. There's some really cool... Here we go. Vivo T10. That one should be boosted. Yep. There's also like a Vivo T10 like Advanced or something like that. In fact, this will make it easier. Here we go. There's some really cool ones that are boosted that are tools related, because I've gotten these, the eMine blueprint. That's the wrong eMine, but there is an eMine blueprint that's boosted. I have one of those, or I had. The RK25 is boosted. Vivo T5 is boosted. So there's actually not as many on auction right now as I would expect. But a lot of the mining finders are boosted. A lot of the repair tools, not the RK0, but like the RK25 is a boosted blueprint. And a lot of the healing tools, the FAPs are boosted. When it comes to vehicles, I don't think Sleep is boosted. It might be. No. The EarnPED, I think, is boosted. Warp Drive 2 is not, I don't think. The EarnPED I know is, because I have that blueprint back on Kali. But needless to say, boosted blueprints are awesome. Now when it comes to tailoring, you're going to see a lot of boosted blueprints. So usually the markup is going to be a little bit less. Usually when I'm looking for boosted blueprints outside of tailoring, I'm looking for markups in the 50,000% plus range, all the way up to 4, 5, 6, 700,000%. When I'm looking under tailoring, because so many of them drop that are boosted, usually you're looking more like the 1,000 to 5,000% range. The problem with some of these is some of them do have materials that are a bit harder to source, like Mert Textile, Daikiba Textile, and Exosword Textile. Those are all three kind of fairly decently hard to source, or they require pretty good markup for you to pay for them. But needless to say, getting a boosted blueprint is always a good thing. I've got a whole collection of boosted blueprints back on Kali. I've just been stockpiling them. Sometime I'll either do a showcase and sell them, or I'll just throw them all on auction on a rainy day. So let's see what we've got so far. A lot of these are just going to go right into the trade terminal because they're just useless. So no Kylon Blue, no Miranda Violet yet. Those are the two that we're after, but I've got another 2,155 clicks to go. I also could have warped here with more on me. These stones are so heavy. The extractors aren't the problem. The stones are so heavy that you can barely move. And had I brought all the stones with me, it would have taken me like 5 days just to get from the landing spot, whenever I got my warp dropped off, all the way to the storage unit, because I was like 9 bajillion pounds overweight. So I only brought this with me for now. I will probably, next time I take a warp from Kali to Next Island, I'll probably do another run. That's probably going to be a while. But needless to say, you see why I'm doing this, and you can probably see why this is something that maybe not the most profitable thing in game, but one of those things that is definitely rewarding, because if you can actually get the blueprint and then actually turn around and use it to craft the Kylon Blue and Miranda Violet, you're going to be able to do a little bit of coloring that you might not normally be able to do. It might give you a little bit more option as to what you can do with some of the materials you want to color, some of the items you want to color. and it just makes the game a little bit more fun. It's one of those things that not a lot of people talk about, so that's why I wanted to put it out here for you guys. So that being said, I'm going to leave it right there for today. I have the ultimate Uber guide to Mindforce coming up for you, either the next video or one of the next videos I'm going to be releasing. I shot it yesterday. I'm actually going to reshoot it because I shot it real fast and I didn't give it nearly enough attention. Mindforce is one of those areas that I want to give a lot of attention to because not a lot of information is out there, and when I do put that video out, I'm absolutely going to blow your mind. Because there's something I'm going to show you in the video that is going to make all of your jaws drop, and most of you are just going to do the slow clap. There might be a few of you OG players or long-term players who might know about this, but I guarantee you it's going to drop most people's jaws. So that is coming in the next couple of days. I'll probably shoot that video day after tomorrow when I'm off work, and then I'll try and get it uploaded fairly soon thereafter. So for right now, I've been StevieB, sip sip, smack smack, F the haters, y'all know the rest. If you guys want to help support us, hit that bell icon and that like button, because there's always a hater hitting that dislike button. Hop over to EarnPED.com. That's by far the best way you guys can help support us, because when you earn, we earn. And we will be back with another video for you guys very, very soon. Take care, Stevies.